Ladies and gentlemen, the armies of death march upon man. The White Walkers, the Whites, are finally here to bring the death of man to the doorstep. They have marched across the north, killing town, conquering castle after castle. And now, the Ice King is here to bring death to man. If you guys are looking forward to this replay and would like to see more like this in the future, of course, let me know in the comment section down below. It is your boy Rapid Plays back at it. And guys, today I am pleased to announce the start of Juiced July. Juiced July, you might be wondering, what in the world is Juiced July? Well, let me tell you. Juiced July not only includes daily uploads, but Juiced July might just include a minimum of 3 streams a week. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting back on the grind here, and Juiced July will bring that for you. So here on the Rapid Plays channel, we will be uploading daily, and then over on Twitch, I will also be streaming daily. So that is that's the plan here. So as you can see, this is it. The armies of the undead have humanity surrounded at one last place here. And you can see, if you guys have not seen Game of Thrones, this probably does not make the most sense to you, but it's still an epic replay. But this is Game of Thrones, ladies and gentlemen, and as you can see, the North is standing together for one last defiant defense. As you can see, we have House Stark, we have House Mormont, which is the bear, and then we have House Umber standing together in one last defiant stand against none other than the Night King's army. I believe I said Ice King army earlier. Yeah, you guys can flame me for that one. I've seen Game of Thrones like 4 times, and I see an Iceman, and in my head I just say Ice King instead of Night King. Still don't know why. But anyways, the Night King's armies are rolling, have this settlement surrounded on all sides, and ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a scrap to the death. Now, I will not spoil anything if you have not seen the show, but what I will say is that this replay can go either way, right? I'm not going to rig it so that way things will turn out how the show turned out. No. This battle will turn out however it turns out. If it turns out how the show turned out, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So yeah, I'm not rigging it one way or another. So as you can see here, we did have a little bit of an opening skirmish phase. I kind of just skipped through because it was kind of pretty uneventful and unimportant. It was just battering down some of the walls here. You can see that this entire section of the wall is down, along with some certain sections over here now coming down. We have this open section here, and I believe that this section over here will be opening up sooner rather than later. As you can see, more and more shots are just coming flying in and decimating the human lines here. I allowed for catapults for the Night King's army because how do I put this? God, I'm just really not trying to spoil Game of Thrones here. But long story short, there is something that would usually be here in place of catapults that does a lot of damage. But yeah, that is not in this mod. So we replace it with some catapults. But as you can see, the White Horde here is sitting here ready to attack. You can see more and more shots going flying in both ways. Fire arrows raining down onto the Night King's army, and they are getting ready to attack. Here you can see more and more fire arrows continuously raining down on this White Horde that is sitting inside of this tower here. And they need to get going quickly because, as you can see, fire's starting to spread, ladies and gentlemen. This siege tower is already at 82% fire damage. They need to get moving quickly, or else this siege tower will go down. See more and more catapult shots landing in the back lines here of those whites. And over on the far flank, this army continues to sit dormant, just waiting, as you can see here, just waiting for battle. The torches ready to go on the attack. Also, not entirely, how do I put this? Lore accurate. The fact that the White Horde here has torches. But, you know, it is what it is. We're not picky around here, right? We're not picky. But, yeah, the last stand of man is getting ready to kick off. You can see that the hordes are getting ready to attack now. Oh, so awesome. So awesome. We are getting a screenshot of that. You can see crossbows continuing to rain into the towers here, trying to kill as many of the enemies as possible. We even have some crossbows that are getting a little overzealous and pushing out here. Maybe to try to get a flat fire at the at one of the generals here, but it appears that some of the skeletons here are deciding to charge forward and try to take out these crossbows, and they do end up engaging them in combat, and this is going to be a slaughter. Or not. They turn around and run away. Hey, you know what? More props to them, I guess. But here we go. The Night King's army is now moving. They are charging forward, chasing after these crossbows that are just kind of slowly walking away. Now, catapult fire even raining down on them. But the Night King's army is starting to push into the breaches. Their siege towers are moving up. Also not really lore accurate. But you have to remember this is Total War, alright? And not only is this Total War, but this is Attila. It's not the most new Total War, to say the least. But as you can see, crossbows now ripping into this first unit that is pushing up here. I believe this is a crossbow unit here. Yes, it is. And they are trying to get as many shots off as possible before this first unit ends up reaching them here. More and more arrows also flying into this unit, because the second that these guys start to engage in melee, let me tell you, it is not going to be pretty for humanity. Humanity needs to continue to fire. You can see the massive grouping of pikes and spears there, trying to get ready to fight. But here it is, the crossbows now engaging in melee combat against these whites, and the Night King's army is starting to surge forward everywhere. We can also see that more and more of the siege towers are getting close. This one's ramp has dropped, so we will start to see some of these units pour out into the emplacement here. You can start to see that there's some wildlings, some dead wildlings that got turned by the Night King mixed in with some of these units. It's not just skeletons here. And yes, these units are starting to climb up the siege tower and jump in. You can see arrow fire raining into them as they jump out of that siege tower as well. But humanity is going to do everything that they can to hold. But as you can see, it is going to be a very, very rough time indeed. More and more fire arrows raining out from the back lines of humanity here, just again trying to do their best to take out the Night King's army. And you can see the humans put their generals back here, and of course, right, if we have House Stark, and this is where the time frame that this battle is taking place in, you know, we got Jon Snow back here, right? We gotta have Jon Snow. So Jon Snow's on the battlefield. We also have Sir Davos Seaworth. And then we also have Mage Mormont. And then we also have John Umber back here. So, yeah. Pretty cool. Because I'm pretty sure Great John did fight at this battle, but his son did, yeah. Again, just try not to spoil this show. It's really hard. It's one of my favorite shows ever, and I highly recommend, if you have not seen it, watching it. But yeah, so we do have some units sallying out here to meet some of the Night King's army out in the field before they even reach the walls. And they're doing a great job at just continuing to cut down the lines. Very, very, very tough. Very, very, very tough for them. And surging forward, yeah, is going to be pretty decently hard here, especially as the Night King continues to move up more units. As you can see here, we turn around and we just see the horde starting to push up to the settlement now. So this unit of men is kind of like a sacrificial lamb, I'm not gonna lie, for House Umber here. kind of just sacrificing a unit out front to get that battle rolling. Also, you see more and more arrow fire continuing to pour over the tops of the walls as the undead start to pour in through the main gate here. And it is going to be a slaughter. You can see pikes trying to hold the line. Pikes are a great way to hold, but they need to get stationed. They need to get situated. You can see there's a lot of pikes still moving around back here, and especially where this gap is right here, we are starting to see more and more whites being able to just pour in through the flank here and get to some of their skirmishers. So that is not good at all for the humans, but they do have plenty and plenty and plenty of reinforcements lined up in the back over on this far flank as well. We again are starting to see that one of the siege towers does go down, which is going to be big for the humans, cutting off any support to this one white horde that got through. But as you can see, the gap is starting to get abused. We are starting to see more and more whites pushing in to face the humans right here. We have a couple units from House Stark and House Mormont continuing to fight out there. And now, this flank is still dormant. The Night King waiting to use this army over here. He is continuing to keep it stationary. Maybe waiting for some of these reinforcements to get pulled over to here, which would be smart, which would be very, very smart. So yeah, there it is. The whites continuing to fight very, very well. The pikes continuing to hold the line. But it's going to be a tough one. It is going to be a very, very tough one. All right, not too bad, not too bad. Continuing to push forward is going to be the name of the game here. Absolutely beautiful, by the way. Just continuing to tear in pretty much everywhere. The humans are doing a great job at putting up a stand at the breach points. They're doing a lot better of a job right here where there's only realistically 3 breach points compared to over here where there's also 1, 2, 3, 4. So the humans are starting to get a little overwhelmed on this flank, and some reinforcements are going to need to be sent up. And you can start to see that some of the reinforcements over here are starting to get pulled from this flank. So the Night King might activate that that far flank here. So let's I'm just gonna kind of play just a little bit of, oh my gosh, look at all the pikes. It's nuts, it's nuts, it's nuts, it's nuts. We're going to slow things down a little bit so that maybe we don't have as many frame issues. You can see that the whites are decently well pushed in here. Probably up to about right here because that's where the pikes end. And we are going to come over to this left flank now where, again, we see that they're doing their best to try to just push through. But the humans are holding. Let me tell you what, humanity is doing a great job at holding on this flank right now. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, this game is just, man, it is just beautiful. Let me tell you what. Let's see. Can we check over here? Still dormant. Still dormant.
Let us have victory.
This is just, I'm sorry for going quiet there, but I am just taking in the scenery of this battle a little too much right now. Like, just sitting here like this, just like, oh, they're moving, they're moving, they're moving, they're moving, they're moving, they're moving, they're moving. Oh, baby. All right, so the far flank has started moving for the Night King now. you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fresh units starting to move up for the Night King. And you can see how under defended this flank is now. All that's standing here is we do have some pikes, which pikes can hold well. We also have some crossbow support from House Umber to support Mormont. But the most of the Stark forces are concentrated over here on this far flank at the moment. And they're doing a great job at holding. The humans are. They're doing a great job at holding this far flank. Over here, it does appear that the whites have broken through to the back lines of the humans here. Pikes now engaged in just sorted combat. Their pikes pretty much becoming useless with how close the combat is. And also some nice supporting fire from these javelins here. Into the flanks of these whites, doing a decent amount of damage here. But they need to continue that fire up if they want to save any sort of this flank here. And they're going to need to send up more infantry. Oh man, that's just a decimating flank of fire. Absolutely beautiful, though. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so now, yep, there it is. The reinforcements now pushing up. We have some guardsmen melee units along with some more guardsmen melee units pushing up. Excuse me? Humans? What are we doing here? Why do we take those javelins off the wall and put a catapult crew there instead? Oh, whatever. But you can see that the flank has now arrived for the Night King. His units are now pushing up to face off against some of these pikemen units, and it is not going well for the pikemen. They are getting outflanked and demolished on almost every single regard here. The archer tower also continuing to support. You can see firing out some fire arrows into the flanks of the enemy here. Crossbow fire now also just, oh my goodness, just eviscerating some of this white horde there. These crossbows need to help out a lot. Only having 25 kills. They need to continue the fire very, very bad. But, yeah. They are now going to be slaughtered in melee combat because, like I said earlier, a lot of what was holding the flank over here has been redirected to try to help out with what is now the central flank, as it has been completely overrun. The humans decimated on this central flank and are now having to fall back incomplete. The White Horde now going to break down this wall that this catapult crew is stationed on. So the humans, in response, House Stark and House Umber, begin to send pikes over to try to plug the gap. Let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this fight is not going to let up until the end, and it is getting dicey. It is getting very, very dicey at this point. The humans still doing a great job at holding these breach points and the gate here. And the, oh my goodness, the White Horde is, look at this. Look how many men they've lost, or men. How many creatures they've lost just trying to pour in here. More and more arrow fire. You can see just continuing to rain out in support pretty much everywhere. Trying their best to pick up as many kills as possible. And doing a great job at doing that. But it's going to be a tough one here. It's going to be a very, very tough one. The longbow's now out of ammo, having picked up 76 kills, so they will engage in melee combat soon. And over here, the Night King's flank has succeeded, and they are now pouring in like it is nothing. And the rest of the army has been activated and are now running in. House Stark will be the house that decides to put up the defense here. You can see arrow fire starting to rip into these units as they charge forward. And here they go.
The enemy advances.
Looks like we have some swordsmen that will be the first to put up the fight. We have pikes lining up, getting ready to hold the line as well. But swordsmen will be the first ones into the fight, and it will be House Mormont committing those units. We do have a decent amount of units from House Mormont and House Stark that are completely healthy, that will hold up the defense there. We also have some crossbows firing in support into the back lines of the Night King's army here, trying to pick up a few kills. And now, oof, it is a squeaky clean time here for these units as they continue to push forward through the gap. House Mormont, House Umber, and House Stark are all defending this right flank, but it appears that House Mormont is going to be the main army here. I believe House Umber was the one to try to hold here with a little bit of House Stark help, but House Umber getting absolutely overwhelmed, and now we will start to see the pikes continue to hold this flank, and we will see how long these pikes can hold for, because there is a lot of enemy units, and when there's a lot of enemy units like this, they can flank hard and well. You're going to start to see that some of the units in the back are falling to archer fire as well back here for the Night King's army, as they continue to push down and try to surround humanity. And up at the top, the generals are watching completely defenseless, watching their men just get slaughtered. And yet they are the last hope of humanity, and they will continue to hold here. House Mormont is doing a great job at holding this flank, though. Let me tell you what, this House Umber got absolutely look at the amount of dead bodies there. Oh my goodness. House Umber getting decimated in that fight, but continuing to push forward. Again, look at this. Just the Night King's army surging forward. Might be too much for House Stark to hold right here. House Mormont also setting up some reinforcements. We see some javelins pushing up, some more guardsmen pushing up. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but I can still see a way that they can win. Humanity is not out of this yet. They still have so many units that are decently healthy back here. They still have all their generals. What are you back here too? We have a fresh pike unit back here as well. So I mean, this battle's not lost yet, and they're still holding this flank too. More archer fire raining down, which is just even better for the humans as they continue to make their last stand. Oh my goodness, it's just a slaughter in here. You can hear both sides fighting for their lives. Well, they're not really alive, but the humans fighting for their lives. The Night King's army is just a bunch of dead people fighting, so I mean, you know, you don't really have lives to fight for. With that being said, you can start to see that the humans are getting overwhelmed, and the Night King's army is starting to get to the rear of the humans at this point. Things are looking pretty spicy, pretty spicy and pretty dicey. The White Horde getting very close to encountering this unit of pikes as well. And now that initial grouping does get eventually overwhelmed and killed back here. The guardsmen did the best they could, but just too many units left alive from this flank. And look at this, there's still 6 more fresh units back here. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. But I mean, look at this, the humans are doing a great job at continuing to fight over here. I'm hearing oil get poured out as well, and is doing a decent amount of damage to the Night King army, which is now all but decimated on this flank. Man, this is gonna be a fight of the ages here. This is gonna come down to the end, I think. Oh yeah, no, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. General still stationary up at the top here, looking to hold, do one last defiant hold. We have 10 units moving up to capture some of the victory points here for the Night King. Yeah, I mean, I think the humans win this flank. The humans hold the far left flank. House Mormont doing its job holding the far left flank. House Umber getting decimated in the center, and House Stark having to pull back too many reinforcements to help out the center, and they end up losing the right flank. So the left flank holds, but the right and central flanks do not. And that pike unit that we were talking about earlier now starting to get overwhelmed. We do have some more House Mormont pikes and stuff helping out, but at this point, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Now the main horde starts to move out to attack. You can see them running across into the lines of these pikes here. Pikes doing everything that they can to continue to hold these enemies back. Have some archer fire coming over the top as well. But oh my god, there's just so many. Just so many. Doing a great job at doing what pikes do, which is leave the enemy at long distance and just run into the pikes. But oh man, here comes the horde. Here comes the horde. And will the pikes have enough to hold? Because as the horde continues to march forward, it doesn't matter. You can see that with just their sheer numbers, a lot of them are starting to make it into the pikes lines. And oh my goodness. The Night King is also going to probably activate the last of his reserves here in a second. Continue to push forward as now the left flank is starting to claim victory. We are starting to even see some of the men pull back from this flank to go and help out over here. You see House Umber committing some of their guardsmen here into the fight. Archer fire now raining down into the Night King's army to try to silence them. Also, now we start to see the last push starting to occur with these 10 whites here. But I'm pretty sure they'll probably be gunned down by this watchtower very quickly, if I had to guess. If the watchtower would actually hit them, that is. Man, these guys have 123 kills. I guess there's a reason why there's only 10 of them left. Because they have been in some action. But now, look at that. The pikes do end up falling. And now the White Horde continues to push forward to decimate the rest of humanity. We have some javelins now committing into the fight. Getting scared, turning around and running, actually. As, yes, the horde just continues to pour in. House Mormont now having to turn units around to try to cover their own rear as they now win this flank. So the humans end up winning the left flank as a whole. But what is left of the Night King's army might prove to be too much at this point. Continue to pour in, lads. Continue to pour in. The humans doing everything that they can to just, oh my goodness. Look at this, pikes jabbing in. Oh, but the whites are doing everything that they can to push forward. But House Mormont is just an animal. House Mormont being an absolute animal here. These archer towers also starting to open fire into the lines of the whites here as they are now becoming dormant after finishing off that central flank. We do see that some longbows are now engaging in melee combat, but that should be pretty easy for these whites to deal with. We see a couple of them die due to that archer fire, but the left flank is now starting to use all their men that they had here to recommit to the to try to hold the center, try to hold their own rear flank here, as all of House Stark and Umber is pretty much dead. Well, all of House Stark is dead. No more House Stark men on the battlefield. It is just all Umber and Mormont at this point. And now here it is. The whites going to take care of that left flank now. And this is going to be, yep, the whites just massacring these poor guardsmen here. Guardsmen doing their job, holding well, but at the end of the day, it is not going to be.
The tower has been destroyed. This bodes well.
Oh yeah, look at that. Just absolute decimation happening here. Absolute decimation happening pretty much everywhere. And now you can start to see that the archer tower did fall. Man, is this just one guy left? One white is left marching after all this battling. This unit having 80 kills. Look at this man. Little creature. Just continuing to march forward. No brain, no soul. Just pure hate for the humankind. And now you can see that the last of the left flank for House Mormont falls. Doing a great job at holding that left flank, but now the final assault begins. And Jon Snow, Sir Davos, the last of the houses, Umber and Mormont, will have to hold alone up top here. So we're going to fast forward to this last little bit of the engagement. Archer tower support is falling as these units continue to push forward here. And now here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Sir Davos Seaworth right here. He will be the first to hold. He's like, come on, men. Who's with me? Who's with me? And they will continue to hold here as the final battle has now ensued. We will follow the heroes in each battle. So Sir Davos is right here. We will follow him until he falls. And then we will move on to the next hero. As you can see here, still alive, still alive. Sorry, I had to blow my nose here, so that's why you heard me mute my mic. His unit is doing a good job at holding, but for how long? Ooh, himself even getting a kill there. As his men continue to fall all around him. His unit does their best to hold, but the whites are a hard army to hold against. The Night King's army is a hard army to hold against. So Davos doing a great job. Oh yeah, look at that. Even pushing back a little bit there. Oh, and a cav charge coming in. Who is this? Who are you? Who are you? Mage Mormont now charging in. I don't know where she is. So we are going to continue to follow Sir Davos, who may have just died. Yep, Sir Davos, we just watched Sir Davos die. We saw his head get popped. So Sir Davos is dead. Mage Mormont is somewhere. I have no clue where she is. But she's somewhere engaging in the fight, I'm sure. Let's see if we can't find Jon. Where's Jon? Where's Jon Snow? There's so much cav. Where's Jon Snow? I want to see him. I need to see my dog. Where's he at? Should be the one not wearing a helmet. I'm facing us. Where's Jon? Where's Jon at? That's not Jon. Well, that might be Jon Umber. That's not Jon Snow. I don't know. He's somewhere. He's somewhere. I wish I knew where he was, though. But yeah, anyways, the last of the whites continuing to push up here. This flank up top has pretty much fallen dormant. These guys are just kind of all standing around. But yeah, no, it's just this last flank continuing to push forward into the cav at this point. The general's surging forward, but the whites just have so many numbers left at this point that it is going to take a miracle for these humans to hold. I mean, it's just beautiful to watch. It's just beautiful to watch. It is just a beautiful ending to watch here. But yes, the men continuing to hold here for the humans. Continuing to push forward. Mage Mormon doing a great job holding himself. 25 kills here. But I believe, or herself, but I believe Mage will be following here before too long. As her men are now completely surrounded here. But with 5 minutes left in this battle, it would take a near miracle to save the humans at this point. I mean, look at how deep the whites are back here compared to the humans. And I know that these 3 are generals that are left, but it is just not looking great as we see another unit fall right there. And the fight and the push continues. The horses, though, urging themselves forward, trying to push deeper and deeper into those white lines, but they're doing a great job. They're doing a great job. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is it, the final stand right here for the humans. And there it goes. There goes House Umber there. Their unit's starting to fall. They made a great push out, though. You can see they made a very decent push out. But now Jon Snow and Mage Mormont are the only 2 that are left to stand, as the last of this general now starts to fall. Having done a great job pushing out, though. 107 kills coming from Mage Mormont's unit there. And there goes the last of Jon Umber's unit as he picks up 55 kills before his unit breaks. But now I believe that this is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. The final order given from the Night King to urge themselves forward. Let's see if we can find Jon Snow, who is right here. We will watch Jon Snow fight to the end. Watch him fight to the very, very end of this battle. If you don't know which one Jon Snow is, he's this guy right here without a helmet on. This guy right here. So we will watch him fight to the end of the battle. No mercy, he says. Push forward, lads. Push forward, he yells. As another one of his men falls next to him. More and more of his men continuing to fall around him. The last stand of the humans is happening all around him. See many of his men falling next to him. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you can see his numbers are dwindling down to 55 men as he continues the fight himself. But the whites' numbers are just too much as you turn around and see just how many of their men are left. Ladies and gentlemen, the fall of humanity is upon us, and that is the last stand of the humans. So I'd like to thank you guys all for watching this episode. The Night King gets the win in this one. So if you guys did enjoy this replay and would like to see more like it in the future, or if you guys are just excited for Juiced July, let me know in the comments section down below, guys. Hit that like and sub button. Of course, I will see you all next time. Peace.